Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Drop of Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, December 18th, and I'm back breaking down another bowl game on Wednesday night. We have California going up against UNLV. Going to give out my best game pick. Have a couple player props, one from this game, one from another game on Wednesday night. Before we do that, let's take a look at the plays we had on Tuesday night. Memphis going up against West Virginia in the Scooters Coffee Bowl. We have Memphis minus 5.5 right now. They started up 17-0, currently 28-17 at the half. High-scoring game, should have gave out the over as well. I did think there was going to be a lot of points scored in this game, but Memphis seems like they're in control. They're going to get the ball out of half as well. So I'm pretty confident that that one's going to hit. We have Garrett Green over 62.5 rushing yards. That one has already hit. Unless he gets sacked, we are going to cash that one. Had a 57-yard touchdown run. Mario Anderson, going to be a little bit tricky. He has 28 yards, not giving the ball a ton, but he can break one off at any given time. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but we are currently 1-0 unless he takes the sacks. Memphis looks really good. Anderson might break off a couple big runs as well in the second half. So looking pretty good so far. We're going to move on, though, to the Wednesday night game. We have California going up against UNLV, the Art of Sport LA Bowl. This is going to be a very strange game. We have UNLV, who's at the top of their conference all season long, battling with Boise State, coming in with 10 wins on the season. California, a team that barely squeaked into bowl eligibility, 6 wins on the season. Both these teams are dealing with a couple strange things as well because of the transfer portal, because of NIL. Head coaches are not able to stay with their teams the entire season, especially for bowl season. So the UNLV head coach, he is gone. He is with Purdue now. For California, they're going to be without their starting quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, and a wide receiver, Hunter. He's going to be sitting out in this game due to the transfer portal. We also have Ricky White, the star wide receiver for the Rebels, not going to be playing in this game. So both of these teams dealing with different problems, but we're still going to be playing football. I do think UNLV is the better team on paper, and I'm going to take them in this game on the money line. They're going to win this game with their dual threat quarterback, Haj Malik Williams. He's going to lead this team to victory. I'm going to take UNLV here. Defensively, I think they're the way better team. Offensively, I think they're the way better team. They have a couple key pieces missing, like Ricky White, like I said, but California has more key pieces missing. Star wide receiver, quarterback out. That's going to be a lot of trouble for their offense trying to move this ball. UNLV is coming in with the number 14 scoring offense in the country. So even without Ricky White, they're still going to be able to move the ball. Probably going to do most of their damage on the ground in this game because Ricky White, the star wide receiver, being out, there's not a whole lot behind him. But I do think UNLV will continue to move the ball down the field. UNLV also has a top 50 defense this season, only giving up 21.9 points per game. So both sides of the ball, they should dominate. With California's situation, losing their quarterback, losing their top wide receiver, a couple offensive linemen missing, UNLV is going to have their ears pinned back on the defensive line, going to put a lot of pressure on that backup quarterback. I think the wrong team is favored in this game. California currently -1. I think that's the wrong team. I'm going to take UNLV here on the money line. They're going to win this game pretty easily as the play. For the player props tomorrow, we are going to start in the same game, and we're going to be taking, I think, the difference maker in this game, the UNLV quarterback, senior Malik Williams, to go over his total rushing yards as the play. This is one of the better dual-threat quarterbacks in the country. He's been able to do this his entire career. He started with Campbell. Now he's with UNLV. This season, nearly 2,000 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. He's also very close to close again on 1,000 rushing yards with 9 rushing touchdowns. So all-purpose yards for him this season. He's sitting around 2,800, 26 touchdowns, only 5 turnovers. He's been a very big part of UNLV's success this season and for their double-digit wins on the year as well. UNLV had that weird situation with the Matthew Sluke, I believe his name was, leaving the team because something went wrong. He wasn't getting paid enough money for something, but Williams has stepped in, and he has led this team to almost a playoff spot. If they would have been able to beat Boise State a couple times, they might have been in the playoffs. But this is still a top 15 offensive team in the country. He has that with him because of his running ability. Most likely in this game, they're going to have more success going up against California. He's not been great throwing the ball over the last 3 games. His best game over the last 3 was 168 yards through the air against Nevada, but he has been running extremely well towards the back end of the season. They are going to be without Ricky White once again. Without him, I expect him to use his legs a lot more in this game. Massive blow for UNLV, but we have a dual threat quarterback. This is an explosive quarterback. I do think he's going to be able to use his legs a lot in this game. He has ran for over 160 plus yards in the last 2 games and a couple touchdowns. He did run 21 times going up against Boise State, but Boise State, that's one of the better defensive lines this season. They sacked him 6 times, so that really put a damper in his yards in that game. Still finished with 56, but 6 sacks is not going to cut it in this game. And that UNLV offensive line, they have been pretty good at protecting him this season. They've had less than 2 sacks or less, I should say, in 4 of the last 5 games. So I don't think sacks are going to be an issue. It is one of the disadvantages of taking a quarterback running the ball. If they get sacked, you lose those yards. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of sacks in this game. I'm going to take him over his total rushing yards as the first play. And for the second play, we're going to be looking at Western Kentucky going up against James Madison. Both these teams dealing with injuries, both these teams dealing with transfer portal stuff, just like every other team's going to be doing in these bowl games. But I'm going to be looking at the quarterback for Western Kentucky, Caden Veltkamp. This is one's a little bit strange because this guy's already declared for the portal. He's not going to be playing with Western Kentucky next season, but he's deciding to play in this game. It's a good thing, though, for Western Kentucky because the other quarterback's already in the portal. If this guy would have went in the portal, they would have had to start a running back or a wide receiver because they don't have another quarterback on the roster. With him there, we should see a pretty good game. This kid has gone for 3,000 plus, almost 3,000 plus yards in the season, 23 passing touchdowns. He wasn't great in the last game in that conference championship game going up against Jacksonville State. They lost by 40 points. He only had 141 yards in that game passing. But looking at his other games on the season, this has been a pretty reliable guy to go for 2+ passing touchdowns. He's done that in 7 games so far this season. This is a very gettable number. He's got a lot of weapons on the outside. James Madison, the defense has been decent this season, but we've also seen James Madison get themselves in some shootouts. That North Carolina game is just sitting in the back of my head. I'm going to take a shot on his over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Going to be minus 110 as a play. JMU most likely going to be able to score in this game. I think Western Kentucky is going to be trying to keep up in this one with the passing game. So I'm going to take Caden Veltkamp here over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's the final play of the day. Let's go to the recap graphic. We are going to be taking UNLV. I think the wrong team is favored. UNLV on the money line will be the play. We're going to take Hajj Malik Williams over 60.5 rushing yards going up against California. I think he's going to use his legs a lot in this game. And then Caden Veltkamp over 1.5 passing touchdowns as the final play going up against James Madison in that bowl game. Guys, it's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Wednesday, December 18th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share, drop a like on this video, and subscribe channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.